Hey guys, today we're going to go over something that's kind of a big picture, but it's a way for you to start doing a bit of a checklist of what are some of the big things that we know, that we hear, we see, we experience, we personally experience things that, what are some big picture things about, again, that we're going to kind of this hypothetical, this John Doe, we'll call it, they're on shift work or whatever, like they're in the tactical law enforcement military space and it's busy life. It's a very, very hustle, busy life. And when we talk with police, military, law enforcement, and we get to know them, there's four big sort of areas we ask about their lives to see what their current state of readiness is, what their current like life rhythm and habits are, because there's four big areas that we can really dramatically improve your time if you're a shift worker, or your time if you're in the tactical space, right? And so what I do is I have two columns here that you don't see, I've written out, and essentially it's your average person that we see. Your 90% of the people that we see are one way. Then you have your 10%, we'll say. It's less than 10%, but it gives us an idea of like what we're trying to teach is this performance-minded individual, right? Not your average. So your average, like the first big thing that we see where people can make change in their life, training, whatever, because we're talking about supplementation, training, and like your eating habits, like your big life habits. Like what are you doing, spending time, what are you doing for your distractions? Are you reading, are you watching TV? Like what are we doing, right? So there's a lot of things that people do in their daily calendar that will either directly contribute to better performance or directly contribute to lacking performance, okay? Specifically when it comes around the training, the life of it, okay? So the most common thing we see for individuals where they can make big changes is most people in the tactical law enforcement military space, especially during the work hours, they order most of their foods. They order it. They buy fast food. They go to like the gut trucks. They buy quick, easy food meals, right? That's the big thing, that people that struggle with maintaining weight, people that struggle with having good performance, and people struggle with joint health, shoulder hurts, back hurts, knee hurts. That's the very first thing that we know that we see is that 60% of the meals that people, or more, 80% of the meals that people eat while they're on duty are at a convenience store or from a nasty Chipotle or something like that. So that's the first thing we see. And we say, okay, so if you are genuinely sincere about improving your life, improving your job, improving every aspect of it, you should start meal prepping. That's it. And so then there's all these questions that stem from it, like what should I eat and all that's a totally different thing. Is first we've got to get to the point where we're going to meal prep. If we're going to meal prep, that's probably a better option than eating Chipotle shit food or McDonald's or Subway. None of those three places sell even real food. So like if you're eating your stuff there, then like we're never going to be optimal. Like, so that's the first thing that we need to change about people is, where do you get your calories? Are you prepping your calories? Or are you relying on somebody else to cook your calories in seed oils and nasty food? Like that's step one. Nothing about your training and nothing about your life will ever improve until that improves. You can't take supplements to improve any of that. You could be eating whatever meals you're eating out, fast food, and you could be taking the best supplements in the world. Those supplements will not help you in any way. Just know that. So that's what we're talking about here, okay? So once a person starts meal prepping, you see some massive progress in their life and in their training, and everything else from this point that I'm going to say is pretty much going to stem from that, okay? The next person is, again, we're talking about, what is this person, this John Doe, this average law enforcement military? They are drinking sugar drinks every day, artificial sweeteners, energy drinks. They're drinking pretty much anything but filtered clean water. So the other person that doesn't have to worry about all these health issues that come along with it, and then is the person that has a water bottle. They bring a water bottle with them wherever they go. They put only essentially water in it. I mean, again, there's cayenne pepper and baking soda in this. But typically the only thing that I drink on a daily basis is water or raw milk. That's it. That is the only thing that I drink ever. So If that's not you, then and you're drinking Monsters, Red Bulls, any Celsius or any energy drink, there's nothing about your life that's going to be optimal. Just know that. So we got to stop pretending that if you're working out 5 days a week, but you're drinking crappy stuff and you're eating crappy stuff, and we scratch our head going, why am I not feeling better? Well, it's because of the fuel you're putting in your body is terrible, okay? So that's your second step. Until you start bringing a water bottle and you start only drinking water or raw dairy, then you're going to continue to have problems. Fact, okay? The next one is your typical shift worker, this, that, and has random sleep, right? I get it. They have windows that they're going to sleep, but the way that they get into that window, they come out of that window, or the interruptions in that window of sleep are very, very inconsistent for most people. Most people will say they want to go home and they're using electronics and things to unwind. No, you're not. Those are called distractions, and we'll get to that in a minute, okay? So if you do not have the same wake time and you don't have the same sleep time, then your sleep is random. And that's not okay either. Because what's not random is the rise and the fall of that huge, massive burning ball of gas in our atmosphere called the sun. That is not random. Because the sun is not random, neither are you or the circadian rhythm that exists inside your being and your biology. So by you choosing, and that's what it is you're choosing to not have wake and sleep cycles. We're like, well, Jeff, I'm on shift work. I don't have that choice. Yes, you do. You chose the job. So you are choosing to do that. So by choosing to get outside of circadian rhythm, you now have only one choice. Do the best you can to maintain your sleep and wake schedule. That's it. And if it's not supported by family, you have two choices. Pull your head out of your ass and fix yourself, or get a divorce. That's it, right? Because we need your family to be compliant to your needs. But if your family isn't compliant to your needs, it's one of two reasons. You're being an asshole, or your family is shitty. So one of those two things have got to be fixed. Stop being an asshole so your family isn't shitty. That's it, right? So if mom is nagging you and wife is nagging you, kids won't leave you around, clearly they don't hear you or don't respect what you're doing. They may not hear you or may not respect what you're doing because you're an asshole. So don't come home demanding this and that. This is where family has to work with family, saying, hey, I'm on the swing shift. I need the house quiet at this time, family. So if the family needs me, it's your responsibility to set up time for your family. That's the side too, is like, and we're going to get to that too, is if you're not maintaining a sleep cycle, then you're not maintaining performance at all. And at some point it will catch up to you, period. Like that's it, right? Sleep is not something that we should take for granted, but it's something we definitely do. Okay, and the last thing that we know that we can make change with people is this, is if you are using electronics before you go to bed, well, then this conversation is fucking over. Like we've wasted all of our time, okay? Because if you are looking at your phone before you go to bed, you are not going to fall into REM sleep as efficiently as you could, right? And that's the whole idea, okay? Food. What are you eating before you go to bed, if at anything? If you're eating sugar, carbohydrates, anything that's spiking your insulin, you bet your ass that your sleep is disrupted. Okay, so what food are you eating before you go to bed, right? Or should you be eating food? Should you not be eating food? And that is determined by your dietitian and your eating schedule, your eating plan that you have with a professional, right? Because clearly you're not controlling your food, so you need a professional, okay? The next thing is TV, electronics, iPads, computers. If you're on that, like I said, before you go to bed, it ain't gonna happen. And last but certainly not least, this is not up for debate, but if you consume any alcohol, any ounce, any milligram, any sort of alcohol at any time period, then you are not going to be feeling good. And I'm not sure what else to say about that. Well, how many drinks? What's acceptable? 0. 0 alcohol is acceptable. 0 artificial sugar is acceptable. 0 seed oils are acceptable. 0 processed pasteurized dairy is acceptable. So if any of those things are in your diet or in your life, then nothing about your body or your biology is optimal. Not sure what else to say, folks, but if you want to be optimal, put these steps into practice, and you'll wonder why you didn't put this stuff into practice sooner. That I can guarantee you.